Kathamrita. Tabu Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kobibhiriritam Kalmashapaham Sravanamangalam Srimadaatatam Bhuvi Grinanti E Bhurida Janaha. We were reading in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna a place or a date where Sri Ramakrishna is now boating with the Keshav Chandra Sen. Keshav Chandra Sen brought a boat and with all his Brahmo devotees, and he came to Dakshineshwar. He picked up Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna also was going along with them. And usually, as a holy person, when he goes over there, when he talk with them, always talk about God, about religion, about spiritual life. And that is the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. Wherever, whenever, in whatever may be the situation, always spoke about God. When he is going to see the some places, some of the theatre hall or other places like zoo garden, sometimes a circus, whatever he sees, always relate with the spiritual life. Here he was talking about the work that we do and the result of that. And the Brahmo devotee, he is asking a question. Sir, we must give up the activities until we realize God? Actually, Sri Ramakrishna was mentioning about the spiritual leaders, those who speak about Bhagavan, the God, about God, without realizing God, without knowing what God is actually. They create confusion, as because they themselves are not very clear about God, and they are trying to depict a picture of God. Naturally the confusion. The Sri Ramakrishna was telling, until and unless you are getting the realization, and that is the permission from the God to speak about Him, it is of no use. Even if you are talking like that, so obviously your words will not be listened by anybody. It won't carry anything. So he may speak nicely. People may be attracted for a day or two, or some time they will be going, but ultimately it's not beneficial. That is what he says. But the Brahmo devotee could not understand the actual implication. He was thinking he is speaking about everybody. It's not for the everybody. He is speaking only about the spiritual leaders, meaning he meant to Keshav. So you have to strive, you have to try, you have to realize God first, and then only you can start a new path, new religion, new process. You can speak about God. But the Brahma devotee didn't understand, and he was thinking that you have to give up the all activities until you realize God. Sri Ramakrishna, no, why should you? You must engage in such activities as contemplation, singing His praises, and other daily devotions. So these are the activities you can always have. You need not to give up. Bhagavan Sri Krishna also in the Bhagavad Gita is mentioning, when they said that there is a group of people at those times before Sri Krishna, their argument was, whenever and whatever we work, result is there. So why not give up the work at all? The wholesale, if we are not doing work at all, then there won't be any result. So that was the argument of some people, some schools, and when that was raised, Sri Krishna replied, yajna, dana, tapa, karma, natajyam, karyameva tat. Yajna means the work for the benefit of others. Dana, again helping others because of the compassion, love, service, those gunas, the qualities that comes within the mind of a person. And tapa, a personal purification, all those that for the personal purification of the tapa. So these yajna, dana, tapa, these three types of karma should not give up, should not be given up. Natyajyam, karyameva tat. Here Sri Ramakrishna also telling those things and mainly giving the stress to develop is personal spiritual knowledge and development. Sometimes the people, when they are coming to the ashrama, and this is the speciality of the Vedanta societies and the other temples. The traditional temples, there will be yajna, there will be puja, there will be so many things. But until and unless we know what for, why we are doing these, we cannot make progress. The Vedanta societies, in the Ramakrishna mission, we always find there's the teaching is the first, knowledge is the first, and then you work. The devotees are coming, they are hard working, they are doing so many things, but our nature promotes us to work. What we have to do? That is the duty of and responsibilities of the in charge spiritual leaders, to remind them again and again that whatever you are doing, not doing for any particular person, you are doing for the God. And when you are actually offering all your work for the God, your spiritual development coming how? Through detachment. No one wants anything from a small child. God is just like a child. When you are helping the child for anything, even thank you, sometimes the seniors, their guardians will be prompting, why don't you say thank you? It's not necessary. A little smile or a glance from the child, we are happy. And we are just happy to help the child. God is similar like that. We are helping him, supporting him as if he is a child, but God is happy. And when the God is happy, what happens? We are also developing our spiritual life. How? By detachment. Work without attachment. That is spiritual. Work with attachment. That is mundane, worldly. This is the only difference. Attachment and detachment. So why should you give up? Master is telling. You must engage. Then Brahma devotee is putting another question. What about our worldly duties? The duties associated with our earning money and so on? Look at it. Sri Ramakrishna again, very affirmative, very positive. Yes, you can perform them too. Yes, you can perform them too, but only as much as you need for your livelihood. Some people, they go out to earn money, and after that they do not know what they will do with that money. And then they cannot give it up also. And ultimately, they made a cocoon around themselves, and they are bound in that. You cannot take the property with you, you cannot take the money with you, you cannot take anything of this world with you. What you can take? Merit. And how the merit comes? Through good work. How the good work can be achieved? Through dana. And what is dana? Giving away with love. Sometimes people are giving, and as because they are compelled to give, because of such a situation arises, hey, why you are not also giving? So many people are saying, do I have to? So he will give something. So that is not dana. So in that way, we cannot get the benefit. The benefit is this. So that's why Master is telling, yes, you can do that, but only up to your livelihood. And that's all. And that is the reason when they used to earn a lot of money, the senior rich people, always they used to do some good work. Again, about that good work, those who are earning lot of money and helping people, about them also Sri Ramakrishna mentioning. Shambhu Mallik is a landlord. He was just living just near Dakshineshwar, as the nearest neighbor. Once talked about establishing hospitals, dispensaries, schools, making roads, digging public reservoirs, and so forth. I said to him, don't you go out of your way to look for such works? Undertake only those works that present themselves to you and are of pressing necessity, and those also in a spirit of detachment. So look at it. So we are going for the public work. Shambhu Malli is going for what? Because the people will remember me. They will say, this is Shambhu Mallik has done, Shambhu Mallik has done. Because of that, he is trying to. But that is not the God's work. And moreover, you are going out of your way. You may not be able to complete that. Why should you take that up? But many people, they will be going out and taking up some projects. They cannot complete it, and always their mind is in turmoil, not in quiet. So obviously, they cannot concentrate on God. They are concerned about the praise and blame, whether the people are praising them or the blaming them. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, if you are thinking that this type of work will please the God, it will if you do with the spirit of worship. And that too, you know that you can do it. You know that you can complete it. So that is the reason he is asking, referring Shambhu Malli, but teaching, giving the teaching to everyone. Undertake only those work that present themselves to you and are of pressing necessity, and those also in a spirit of detachment. Don't seek, don't shun. One very senior Swamiji, he used to tell us when we were brahmachari, and naturally tremendous lot of encouragement, spirit and all those things were there, and we were thinking we will do this, we will do that. Then he said, don't seek, don't shun. You need not to go for seeking some job, something for your engagement. No. When there is nothing, take the name of Lord. Sit in one place. Look at the picture of God quietly and pray. Try to meditate. And that way, benefit yourself. And suppose some work has already come, don't complain. Oh, now the work has come, I cannot meditate, this is evening time, what I will do. So these are the training of the Ramakrishna mission. One of the general secretaries, he was very particular about evening meditation, morning, evening meditation. He was a general secretary, so many decisions are to be taken, people are coming, Swamis from different parts of the world, they are going, discussing with him. So naturally he is busy, but he was very particular. One Swami, he went to meet him, and it was exactly 7 o'clock evening. When he almost reached to his room, he found that he is closing the door, light went off. So he understood that this is the time for his meditation. So he was waiting outside. And after 1 hour, he once again opened the door, put on the light, and then the Swami approached. He said, when you have come? Oh, Swamiji, no, I didn't like to disturb you when you were meditating. So I came little early, but I didn't disturb you, I was waiting. Then he said, do you think when I am discussing and taking up some work of Thakur, it's not meditation? That is also meditation. So when you are coming from far away place, you have to return back today itself. Now you have wasted totally 1 hour. I didn't like it. So he said that. I didn't like it. You should have knocked, you should have said. So that is the attitude of these people. When there is nothing, they are meditative. When there is something, they are active. So this is the beauty of the Ramakrishna mission monastic life. So this way the training goes, because Sri Ramakrishna is telling like this. Swami Vivekananda is telling how a Ramakrishna mission Swami should be. Is that if necessary, you should go to the garden developing vegetable, just ordinary work, menial work. And if necessary, you should carry those vegetables to sell out in the market, so that with that money you can run the ashrama. And you should be capable to expound the intricacies of the scripture. And you should be very active when there is work, or otherwise quiet like Himalaya when there is no work and you are meditating. So any time, any situation, you can control your mind. You must be the master of your own senses. So that is the training. So this way, the Sri Ramakrishna's teachings, that is on every pages of this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, he is referring to the Shambhu Mallik, and he is asking, all this work that you like to do, that is not the main work. But Swami Vivekananda, when he afterwards went back from the Europe, he was introducing this work only. What you are doing sitting over here, closing your eyes, do you think you are meditating? You are wasting your time only. Why don't you go, open your eyes instead of closing, and see God, that they are moving, they want your services. Go and serve them. And many of the people, they are objecting, quoting Sri Ramakrishna. The Sri Ramakrishna is telling that hospital, school, all this work only Swami Vivekananda introduced. But how? In which way? Atma moksha jagat hita. That is the watchword of the Ramakrishna mission. The slogan is Atma moksha jagat hita, for the liberation of the one's own self and for the benefit of the world. So this is the speciality. And here we find that Sri Ramakrishna is referring for whom, who was working, who was thinking, planning to get some praise from the society. And when Swami Vivekananda is asking the sannyasins to do this, and he said that is karma yoga, you are doing with totally unselfish motive to help these people in this way, and that is in a worship method. When you are worshipping in the temple, we are very careful. Sometimes some people I saw, they will be picking up Sri Ramakrishna's picture just like this, and then they will clean like this with forcefully, and then put up the, this is a picture, they think. Then you need not to do this. If you think that it is a picture, you need not to do anything like that. But if you think this is the presence of God, you must be very, very careful. Now that he is sitting here and slowly you are taking the God on your lap and then holding carefully, and when you are praising and cleaning that, you must be careful that he should not be hurt. So that is the training. So this way one should work, then only the devotion will pay. Otherwise, all that we do over here, why it is not? You go to any temple, hundreds of the worshippers, they are doing it, the pujaris, they are doing it. It is their profession, it is not their devotion. And in the profession, they are thinking that the most quick way we can do it, then we are released, we can go back home or do this and that. That is not the devotion. So that is the devotion. When I was in training center, my duty was to clean the image of Sri Ramakrishna in the Belur Math. And there are 2-3 white clothes are there. So you have to go, and when you are using the cloth for feet, that cloth should not be used for the body. And the body, that cloth should not be used for the face. So when we are wiping our legs, do I use that same thing for the face? No. So this is the way they teach. And after that, you have to know how to use that, and after that, you have to wash it and you hang it for to dry. I did all those things. And then the Pujari Swamiji came. He was very quiet, very tall, very fair complex. He was a great Pujari. And he said, "Oh, you have completed this work?" And yes, Swamiji. "You have washed these clothes?" And yes. These small pieces. They are hankies and handkerchiefs like that. Achha, will you please bring it down again and put it in the water? Then again I put it in the water, and now I rubbed, and I found that the soap is coming out. He said, "You see, still the soap is there. You didn't pay much attention to this. Next day, when you will be using this, how God will feel? The smell of the soap will come. Will He be happy?" I was so much ashamed. I never thought like that. So when you are putting that in the eyes, near the eyes, you must be very careful, because it is very sensitive place. When you are touching the eye, you must be very, very careful. So as if the living being over there. So what happens? A tremendous concentration. And that concentration comes through your concern and devotion. Who is benefited? The person who is doing it. So that is called the spiritual development. So this spiritual development means not only the work that I am doing in a great fashion, so many people are praising me, it's nothing like that. So here he is teaching, and then he is saying work is only a means to the realization of God. Work is only a means to the realization of God. And exactly the same thing Shankaracharya also told. He is also telling, through the work, what you are doing, you are cleaning your own mind, you are sanctifying your own mind, purifying your own mind. That is the benefit. And the moment that is done, what happens? Jnana. What is that jnana? That the God that I was worshipping outside, it is already inside. The God I was searching, it is already within me. I am that God. Here also Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Therefore I said to Shambhu Mallik is the landlord, suppose God appears before you, then will you ask Him to build hospitals and dispensaries for you? And everybody is laughing. So what we are going to ask from God, pray to God, is this type of development? No. Then he is telling, Karma Yoga is very hard indeed. There are 4 ways to reach God: Jnana, Karma, Dhyana and Bhakti. Now, Jnana is really very difficult, very, very difficult. Constantly and every moment you have to think that you are Brahman, you don't belong to this world, and naturally whatever happens should not disturb your mind. You are totally free from the praise and pain and all those things. Praise and blame and pleasure and pain, all these things are free. Very difficult. Then the Karma Yoga, detachment. Whatever we are doing for as a service to God, and the moment comes, time comes, I forget that, whatever I have done. This is the great thing. The Karma Yoga is very hard indeed. In the Kali Yuga, it is extremely difficult to perform the rites enjoined in the scriptures. Sri Ramakrishna here mentioning about the Karma Yoga that was in our scriptures. That is different type of yajnas we are supposed to perform. It is not possible. Nowadays, man's life is centered on food alone. He cannot perform many scriptural rites. Suppose a man is laid up with fever if you attempt to slow cure with the old-fashioned indigenous remedies, before long his life may be snuffed out. So, here the person needs something that will cure him immediately. So, that is the speciality of the Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma. It was framed long back, nearly 6,000 to 7,000 years before, by the rishis of the Vedas. Now, one after another, great personalities are coming, spiritual personalities, and they are modifying it according to the need of the society. Now, in the present day, Sri Ramakrishna, utilizing the same thing, asking us to do the same thing, he is telling, nowadays the drastic D-Gupta, in those days it was D-Gupta, a very famous medicine containing a strong dose of quinine. In those days they used to have the quinine. So, D-Gupta was that company, in the name of that D-Gupta. Mixture is appropriate. In the Kali Yuga, the best way is Bhakti Yoga. In the Kali Yuga, the best way is Bhakti Yoga. Here, the Bhakti Yoga and Swami Vivekananda combined it with Karma Yoga, then Dhyana Yoga, and then Jnana Yoga too. And that is the way our symbol, the Ramakrishna mission, that combines all the four. So, here some people they said, Sri Ramakrishna said only Bhakti Yoga, and many of our great Swamis, the presidents, they have explained the Bhakti Yoga means Naradiya Bhakti. The Bhakti belongs to the Narada. This Yoga, actually you have to follow the definition that the Narada has given. The Bhakti means, according to the Narada, Tad arpita akhila acharata tad vishmarane paramo vyakulata iti. In these two lines he is mentioning about the bhakti, the description, the definition of the bhakti. Tad arpita akhila acharata, whatever work that you have done, are doing, so that has to be given at the feet of God. After the whole day long work, you have to say, God, this belongs to you. Ramakrishna arpanam astu. As we say after the lecture, Ramakrishnam arpanam astu. I am giving it to Sri Ramakrishna. After reading, after explaining, after discussing, whatever benefit comes to me, whatever result comes to me, I give it at the feet of God. After all the work that we do, we give it at the feet of God. And what happens? I am free. So, that is called Karma Yoga in the modern age according to Narada. But along with that, there is another thing is there. What is that? Tad vishmarane paramo vyakulata iti. The moment you forget that God, and you should go on praying. How could I forget God? He was with me when you were traveling in a flight, when you were going here, talking, going, all these things that we are doing. The moment you are alone, there is a chance, immediately you have to remind God. And suppose you don't, you have forgotten for a long time, then that bhakta, he will cry, she will cry. How it is that I could not remember God for such a long time? How could I forget? Now there is a doctor, he is operating maybe for a long 4 hours. It is not that he has to remember God in that 4 hours. God is that patient then. But suppose we are going to the market and just sitting or waiting, or that very moment we have to remember. And then every moment, wherever is possible, we have to remember. And that is the way we have to practice Bhakti Yoga. Tad arpita, tad means the God, arpita, akhila acharata. All sorts of work that we do, we have to give it to the God. Tad vishmarane, and if I forget the God, then I should have pain within me. I should feel pain. Not that somebody will tell, I myself. How? Because I love God. And naturally, how could it be that I will forget my beloved? It is not possible. Then he is telling to the Brahma devotees. The Sri Ramakrishna's way is a very unique way. He is entering into the Brahma devotees. They are good people. But they are not understanding the religion properly. So the God himself has gone to them to guide them in the form of Sri Ramakrishna. And he is first talking with them very different way, nicely. And now he is mentioning to the Brahma devotees, yours also is the path of devotion. The Brahmas, they denounce the Murti Puja, but at the same time, they used to pray to God. The Sri Ramakrishna is appreciating even that. It doesn't matter that you are not constructing a temple or worshipping an image, it is not necessary. But you love God, you have devotion. So he is telling the path of devotion alone is the religion for this age. Yours is also the path of devotion. Blessed you are indeed that you chant the name of Hari and sing the Divine Mother's glories. So the person, if he really, at least for once, he is chanting the name of God with sincerity, he is blessed, she is blessed. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling, I like your attitude. So they were not worshipping the images, but that doesn't matter. I like your attitude. So the broadness, the Catholicity, he is embracing everyone. You don't call the world a dream like the non-dualist. The Vedantin, particularly Advaitin Vedantin, they say the world is a dream. You don't say that. You are not Brahmagyanis like them. You are bhaktas, lovers of God. Though Brahma Samaj, but Sri Ramakrishna is telling you are not Brahmagyanis of the olden days, because that is a different path. You cannot follow that. All of you are householders. You will never be able to practice Jnana Yoga as those they used to do in the days of the old. So you are lovers, you are bhaktas. And then he is telling, you will certainly realize him if you call on him with sincerity and earnestness. The assurance unthinkable. No one, nowhere spoke like this. You will certainly realize him if, there is a if you call on him with sincerity and earnestness. And these are the two words, sincerity and earnestness. And then the realization of God. It is certain and sure. But the thing, how many of us are really sincere? How many of us really want to realize God? Most of us, majority of us, we go to God just because we have developed in that atmosphere. And then we want an external protection. We have so many other protections we have already taken ourselves. At the same time, we want a divine protection. So that is the reason we go. And we have some of the prayers which we think that will be fulfilled by God. But really, is it true that we want to realize God? If it is, then he says, you can realize God. And he is not mentioning who, anyone, anytime, anywhere. What is his language, his culture, his religion? It doesn't matter at all. You will certainly realize him if you call on him with sincerity and earnestness. So these are the two things are necessary for God realization. Then he got down from the boat in Calcutta, took a carriage, and he went to the house of Suresh Mitra. This is in North Calcutta, where Swami Vivekananda's home is there. Nearby, it was Suresh Mitra's house. Sri Ramakrishna used to love him very much. And these are the blessed houses where he used to visit. Not that he used to go to everybody's house, but Suresh Mitra, Balaram Ghosh, they are not Brahmins. We have to remember. In those days, the caste was so rigid. But even then, Sri Ramakrishna, he is a very leading priest of Dakshinesha, a Brahmin, known personality. Wherever he goes, people know, and he is going to not to a Brahmin, Balaram Ghosh, and he is going to Suresh Mitra. Is a Ghosh, Mitra, all they are not Brahmins, they are all Kshatriyas. According to the casteism, they are Kshatriyas. Datta, Ghosh, Mitra, Datta, they are all Kshatriya caste. He is going to their houses. And Shurendra, he used to call him Shurendra. His name was Suresh. But Thakur made his Shurendra. Shura, Indra. And Shura means the god. He is the Indra, the leader of the gods, king of the gods, like that. Shurendra. And his name was Suresha. And Suresh Mitra. He was not at home. Now, the members of the household opened the room on the ground floor for the master and his party. And system the Sri Ramakrishna used to follow, we also follow till today. Wherever he will go, that house, that household, that person should pay for his carriage fare. So he will hire a carriage and he will go and say, this much money you have to pay, and they will pay. That was the system, and they used to follow. Even now, if you are inviting us, then you are supposed to pay. Even if you are not inviting and we are going, you are supposed to pay. So that way it goes. And Thakur started this thing. The sannyasins, they are going to house, sitting over there, taking food, talking with them, all introduced by Sri Ramakrishna. Previously, the sannyasins never entered into the householders' residence and all. They used to be always away from the main gate. From outside only they will be talking. You have to give them some alms. Or in the villages, they will be sitting in a center position of the village or under a banyan tree. The villagers are supposed to take and serve them food and serve him. So like that, Sri Ramakrishna is entering into every household, making them as their own. This is a new introduction. And why? Giving them so much of respect. Even also nowadays, some people are there, they won't accept the cooked food, and they think they are very, very religious persons. They will go to the household and they will ask for raw ingredients of the food, and then they will cook. They are taking the rice and all those things from the householder and cooking, that is all right. But if that householder, in a very neat way, hygienic way, with devotion, cooking, just because of the caste, they won't take food. It is an insult. I am holier than thou, that attitude, that is denounced by Sri Ramakrishna. He is not accepting this. He is going there, sitting with them, and then he is mentioning, as because Shurendra was not there, Suresh Mitra was not there, he is mentioning the cafe. Shurendra would have taken care of it had he been there. The master said to the devotee, why don't you ask the ladies to pay the fare? They certainly know that their master visits us at Dakshinesha. I am not a stranger to them. So he is asking the devotees to go inside and asking for, because in those days the ladies were not, they were supposed to be inside and they never came out. And they are asking the devotees, go and ask for the money and then you have to pay. But other devotees were there, they could pay. The master is telling no. The system is, in whose house I am going, he is supposed to pay. If he is not there, family members should pay. Narendra, who lived in that quarter of the city, was sent for. Narendra's house was nearby. In the meantime, Sri Ramakrishna and the devotees were invited to the drawing room upstairs. The floor of the room was covered with a carpet and a white sheet. See, whatever we do now, almost the same thing at the time of Sri Ramakrishna. Used to spread a carpet, and over that there is a white sheet, then there will be some cushions, and the Swami, Sri Ramakrishna and all the devotees, they will be sitting. In those days, the chairs, it was all European style. Most of the Hindu households, they never had the chair and table, on the floor only. So they are pointing to aim, to the Bijay and all this. When the Narendra came, he was very, very happy. And inside the room, he found on the wall hung an oil painting, specially painted for Shurendra, in which Sri Ramakrishna was pointing out to Keshav the harmony of Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, and other religions. On seeing the picture, Keshav had once said, "Blessed is the man who conceived the idea." It was the idea of Sri Ramakrishna. Blessed is the man who conceived the idea. In those days, Sri Ramakrishna, he was actually the embodiment of the parliament of religions. He was the personification of the parliament of religions. All religions are mingling in that one person. When people never could think about mixing with their own intra-faiths, inter-religions, etc. That is also they were not thinking of. The Vaishnava will never visit the Shaktas. Shaktas can never hear about the Vaishnava. In those days, Sri Ramakrishna was thinking to bring all the great religions together: Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism, and Christianity. Sri Ramakrishna was talking joyously with the devotees. Then he was mentioning about how he talked with Keshav Chandra Sen. If we read this, it's just like a child reporting to his friend, the young man reporting to his friend what happened, as if he was talking with a wonderful thing with the Keshav and all. He was reporting to that. And then he was asking Narendra to ask the aim that whatever Sri Ramakrishna said, and that is true. Aim also said, aim means the master said, yes, it is quite so. Then Shurendra didn't return. The master had to leave for the temple garden, and a cab was brought for him. Aim and Narendra saluted him and took their leave. Sri Ramakrishna's carriage started for Dakshineshwar through the moonlit street. The way the description, that is also gives us to imagine the carriage, that horse-drawn carriage, is going but not in dark. It is a moonlit street, all lighted street. It is going to where? Dakshineshwar. So the path of God, he is leading to that divine place, Dakshineshwar, and that path is lighted by a celestial body, moon. So this is the beauty when we read, and those who can imagine, they can imagine. If you ever go to Calcutta, even now that road is still there, the Keshav's house. Of course, the Shuren Mitri's house, there is a big road. Now it is going that name Vivekananda Road, but Shuren Mitra house, because it was on the main road, you had to. And then another road is there where Girish Ghosh house is there. He was so famous, the British government could not totally demolish the house. They kept a little portion and took the road from both sides. So Girish Ghosh house is still there. And there Balaram Ghosh house, of course, intact as it is. And the chariot what Sri Ramakrishna used to draw at the time of Ratha Jatra, still there, still they do the same way, in the same area where he used to do, everything is there. Those who have read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna and the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, if they go to those places, it will remind them in every step what has happened over there. And who did it? God Himself. He is drawing the chariot. And what is the symbol of chariot? It is this body, the human body. The human soul inside is the Jagannatha, the Lord of the universe. And this, our 5 indriyas are the horses. And our mind is controlling those indriyas as if the rein, and it is moving. And whose mind is under control? The horses are also under control. Whose mind is not in control? The horses are not in control. And what happens when the horses are amok? They go mad, they go in their own way. There's every possibility to make an accident. And that is why in the Upanishad also describing the Ratha in this fashion. So Sri Ramakrishna used to draw that Ratha in this way. Now we will chant our Pranam mantra and conclude here. I once again appreciate the die-hard devotees, and you have already read all those things, but even then you were so much interested to listen every words of it again and again and again. That proves your taste for spirituality. I pray to God that it should continue, and it should mature ultimately by realizing God, by getting His grace. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. In the coming Saturday, the next Saturday, there will be a special puja training course. And Swami Ishatmananda ji is coming from San Diego. He will be teaching over here. And many of you, I wanted that all our devotees should learn it. You do worship, but if you learn it the way we do, because you are our devotees, how we are performing these things, keeping the flower, then sanctifying the flower and all the things that is there, including the asana and your body, and then worshipping, this is, you will understand that from duality you are going to Advaita, to non-duality. It's a very wonderful way it takes the mind from there. So this we should learn. Some of the people they have registered, it is free registration. Only thing you have to bring all those things for yourself and then you can practice. But I was wanting that at least 20-25 people, if they learn, and they can practice it in their household itself. And then after that, from 4:30 to 6:45, I think that is the timing. Then 15 minutes gap. Then there will be prayer. After the prayer, we will have half an hour Guru Purnima, we will observe. When a small little puja will be there, and we will be chanting and remembering Guru and discussing about Guru for half an hour, then there will be prasad. So please tell your friends and your known people to come. Thank you.